No, we don't know, but yes, we kind of do. So, I mean, what do you want us to do? Just to go. Right? Like, he gets like that, he's an asshole. Right? Because he hasn't wrecked anything.
I'm on the dot, so we will begin our meeting. This is the September the 8th, 2022 meeting of the Grange Code Enforcement Board. Go ahead and take a poll, or you're here. Find out who all's present. We're all present and accounted for. I believe we have minutes from the August 11th meeting to approve. If everybody take a quick look at those. Have any changes?
I make a motion we accept the minutes as written.
We have a motion and a second. And Mr. McCombs seconds that motion. Minutes are approved from the August 11th meeting. Looks like today on our new business, we have one case, citation 220234 for 100 North 4th, chicken in the city limits. So, Mrs. Winther, if you could, please.
They just messaged me. They went to the community center instead of here. So if we can give them another minute to show up, they are on their way.
Yep.
So if we want to just maybe talk about old business first or new business other than the citation?
Wait a minute. I did have a question. Can I mention West Madison, where we are on that?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just, I drove by there yesterday on the way out, and I just, what you were talking about to let things grow up. Now, what are you in conversation with the mortgage?
So I've left messages for the mortgage company, but I have not heard anything. This is, I believe the address is 707 West Madison. Mm-hmm. The gentleman passed away back in December. And his family, he's got a son and a daughter. They both live out of state. Neither one of them have probated the estate or anything yet. So I was trying to be patient, give them some time to work through some things. The neighbors were being nice at the beginning of the season and cutting the grass, but with no communication going on with the family not showing up to take responsibility, they quit doing that. So the grass has gotten tall. The dumpster has been moved out of the yard. Don Hedges came and took that. But I've issued them notice of violation. I've given them the second warning for the broken down trucks and the trash in the yard, and a second warning for the tall grass. And I believe the deadline is tomorrow, and then we'll issue citations and start going that route. Mm-hmm. And then I'm really pushing for the bank to go ahead and start foreclosure proceedings. I don't know if they have a process that they have to wait a certain amount of time after somebody passes before they do that.
Right.
So I'm hoping they'll go ahead and start going quick on that.
Okay.
Otherwise, you'll see this one back in front of you.
Okay. Like I say, I was driving by and I noticed it's really getting kind of unsightly. And
time of year, we don't normally have as much rain as we're getting, so grass is still growing, and it's usually not growing this time of year, so that's really made it worse.
Mine included. I thought we were going to have somebody come and remind me about it.
Same notes. In October, they need this space the day that we would normally have code board. So we've canceled our code board for October. November, I was not going to be able to attend, so we will not have a November meeting. So our next meeting will probably be in December.
Okay.
If we have one.
Everybody good with that?
So, maybe we'll all go with you and we could just do it there.
Have it there. We can have beach here. And we can do it via Zoom.
We can be a Zoom in. We can talk nonstop and each try and interrupt us and say something.
As far as old business, did the 1104 Cherrywood sidewalk?
They did. They got the sidewalk put in. They paid their fine. 1105 Cedar Springs, he did come in and pay his fine. I have not heard anything else. I know he had made a reference that he thought he was going to appeal it with district court. I haven't heard anything. Yes.
How long of a period of time do we give?
He had 30 days to appeal it.
That's okay.
But he did pay the citation, so.
Oh, and did you find that form that you asked me about?
I did. I've got it. Thank you.
I knew you'd been real busy and all that, so.
Cooper had it on our desk.
Not a problem. Not a problem. All righty. Yes, sir.
Okay, I
Okay,
think we're
go
ready
ahead.
to go ahead and start. So the address is 100 North 4th Avenue. On June 23rd, I was on my way home from work one night and I glance over and I see a bunch of chickens running down the sidewalk. So I stop and there's chickens in the yard, the front yards of two houses. So I knock at the corner house. I don't get an answer. I go to the other house thinking maybe it's their chickens. It's not their chickens. It's the corner house. So the owner of the house does come out and talk to me. We discuss the fact that in the Grange, you have to have a permit in order to have chickens. You can only have 4 hens. You cannot have any roosters, and they have to be kept contained in a coop in a pen area. So we discussed that on the 23rd of June. And then I did not ever get a permit or anything, a permit application. So I just assumed that maybe they got rid of the chickens. Then again, on August 4th, when I was driving by, I saw chickens in the front yard again. Now, when I went by in June, I counted 11 different chickens. There were 5 in the neighbor's yard. There were some in their yard. There were some still in the backyard. But throughout the movement of them, I would think that there were 11 chickens there. So on August 4th, this picture here. Oh, it's kind of hard to see on the screen, but there's chickens in that picture. So on August 4th, I went ahead and wrote a citation for having the chickens without a permit. And Mr. Tom Perry went ahead and contested the citation. And that's why we are here today. And this is in reference to ordinance 90.09, prohibiting the keeping of farm animals and exotic species within city limits. That ordinance breaks down that we will allow chickens in the city. Again, you can only have 4 hens. You have to have a permit. They have to be kept contained. They can't be free-range chickens. So that's where we are.
All righty. Thank you. Mr. Tom Perry, if you could come forward, please, and we need to swear you in. If you can state your name and the address and all that good stuff.
Luke Tom Perry, 100 North 4th Ave, Grange, Kentucky, 40031.
Fantastic. Please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Sir?
Thank you. Good enough. Go ahead, sir.
So, yeah, Stephanie, what she said's, I'm not in objection to anything that she said as far as dates and what she saw and everything. We did talk on the 23rd, and initially when we got the chickens, they were a bit more contained than they eventually gravitated towards deciding to jump over the fence, etc. And we talked on the 23rd, and we headed out on a trip out west for most of the whole month of July, and came back, and saw the violation and kind of got the permit together, which I've got right here as well. And one of the questions that I guess I had for her, and she said, hey, you have to kind of bring that before you guys, was the ordinance talks about how there's a number or count of four hens. And I was just curious as to the reasoning behind the count of the 4. I know you got to pick a number. Here in the city, you probably can't just have everybody having 100 chickens out there in the city, right? So you got to have a number. I wrote up a document here. I don't know if you guys can all see it. But this is just a little information. Like, if I were to go to Tractor Supply and want to buy chickens, they mandate you buy 6. If you go to Rural King, you have to buy 6. Some of the benefit of having them, obviously, is you get eggs from them. And I didn't know, I guess offhand, do you guys have, I guess, any background to the count and the reasoning behind 4 being the mandate? Was there, is it just kind of, hey, we had to pick a number and that was it? Or does anybody, maybe that wasn't you, I don't know how that worked.
I'm not sure how the number was determined. I know that this ordinance was back in 1987.
Oh,
I
okay.
believe.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So we've got 2 conversations going on here, and I want to clear this up. So you need to speak with the city council members on the ordinance committee.
Oh, okay.
And we had a meeting set up to talk to them about the number of chickens, and they canceled the meeting. So this is the
Oh, I
code
thought
board.
this was the
No,
review of
no,
that.
this is the code board for the citation itself.
Oh.
You still need to talk to the city council about the numbers of
Oh, okay.
chickens. So that conversation is for the city council. So I just wanted to clear that up, which normally we would have already had, but they canceled it at the last minute,
I see.
so we didn't have the meeting.
Yeah.
Would you, would you, our job is actually pretty simple. Ours is there an ordinance, like it or, you know, whether we agree or like it or not? Was it violated? And then we enforce that. So our job in this one's really easy. There is an ordinance, it does say 4, it does say pinned. More than 4, they're not pinned. So for us, it's pretty easy to say.
So yeah, for my citation, I wrote it for not having the permit,
Okay.
and then he can deal with the city council and the numbers, and then if they decide they don't want to change the numbers, then we'll deal with the numbers then. I just wanted to clarify that.
Right, right. Thank you.
Payment for the permit, and actually have been holding it for this meeting. Actually, the last one that got canceled, I thought that was,
Okay.
I had it all confused, so I'm sorry, Steph.
That's okay.
So anyway, that might not be a relevant question to you guys. I don't object to anything she's saying. I mean, as far as that goes, I was just holding on to this until that day
Okay.
that we came. So, you're within your means to uphold the citation. I don't disagree. I obviously don't want to pay $100. I was trying to hold it to kind of have the meeting all together, I guess was my thought on why I hadn't done all this yet, is I wanted to talk about the count and talk about it all together so that I could figure out, okay, so yeah, but in the meantime, she's just doing her job and, moving things along, so.
Did you communicate to Stephanie then? I know the citation was issued on August the 4th.
Yeah.
Did you respond to her verbally or anything between them?
We emailed, and she came out to the house and we talked about it then. And then as we said, hey, if you guys want to meet to talk about the count, then that was kind of the next step. So I did that. And then I obviously was confused on that meeting versus this one as well. So.
All righty. How many chickens do you have right now?
Well, we're down to 8. The heat got to a lot of them. No roosters or anything. And
No.
we've been able to keep them, Keith, in the side of the garage. And I have since, I guess, since August, we just haven't let them out of that side run and just kept them in there. It's been a lot more successful, obviously, with not having them in the front yard. I think it's been like one day in August that they got out and kids left the gate open or something. But you see, if they get out, if I don't have their wings clipped, which we're in the process of doing that too, then they will hop the fence and end up in the front yard. And I understand that's not permitted.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you have plans to reduce your count to 4?
Well, it isn't my ideal setup. What I guess I'm proposing to talk to them about is the concept of that reasoning behind why they want 4. You can't sometimes do a whole lot with 4. And if I'm able to keep them contained and meet the other criteria, I guess that's more what I'm also wanting to propose if it's available. But I know that's not as much what the code enforcement board does is strictly
Correct.
enforcing the
Like
code.
Mike said, it's our job, and this one's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
That at the time that Officer Winther contacted you all and had the other communications with you, the current code is what's in force.
Right.
And did a violation occur? Yes, it did. And she went through all the steps exactly as she should have, and then issued the citation with that. So as far as what the Grange Code Enforcement Board does, is we determined that, and after some discussion here, I believe that we're going to say that, yeah, a violation did occur with
I
that.
don't deny that either.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get it done in the time frame that she asked, and
Right.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's like I'm here to debate that. I'm really not. I'm on her side.
Yeah. You're waiting for the next city council meeting.
I understand that, and if it's your choice to uphold that, I understand that. Yeah.
The ones that write the code to at least match what Tractor Supply makes you buy.
Yeah. I mean, I know people in town that have more than 4 chickens. They just haven't gotten. Nobody goes around constantly unless they're like my rebellious chickens and like to be in the front yard of Main Street. So, it's one of those things. But yeah, whatever, I understand that end of it with the violation fee, and but like I said, I'm partly when I got the violation, we did talk right after that point, and I was holding my permit fee for this meeting, thinking that was what I was doing. So it wasn't like I'm objecting to putting a permit in, any of that.
Alrighty. You have anybody else that wants to speak in on your behalf, or anything? I don't see anybody else here. So
Okay.
All right. Okay.
My son from school. So.
Alrighty. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anybody have any more questions for Mr. Tom Perry?
Yes. Yeah. Completely. Yeah. And that's inside the run is the coop. The coop's enclosed, and the run's completely enclosed. Yep. I tried to print you off copies, but they didn't print clearly.
That's all right.
So
that's okay. All righty. Well, thank you for that presentation, sir. And I'm going to ask Officer Winther to come back up one time, and thank you for the update there for her closing statement.
I don't have anything further.
You have nothing?
I have nothing.
I just made you get up for nothing, right? That's okay. Only thing else I have to say then is between us, we've all answered questions, and if we are in agreement, then I say that we have a motion to enforce the citation, and then if Mr. Tom Perry comes into compliance by filling out for the permit with you all today and reduces his flock to meet this current code that's in place, and you're in agreement with him, then we can waive the court costs associated with that. That's something.
Hold the citation amount, but waive any.
Correct. I'm in agreement with that as well. So then we'll need an abatement date and all that good stuff. If we can have a motion for that in a second, we'll move forward.
I go ahead and make a motion, what you just said, that we will uphold the citation amount, $100 first offense for the permit as much as anything, but also the count of the chickens with an abatement date to be
14 days.
Will there be a city council? There won't be an opportunity.
They will be. They'll be meeting next week, so it's on the agenda to talk next week.
Have an opportunity to have that. Okay, but as far as this, it is We'll uphold the citation, the $100 citation amount, 14 days to abate.
All right, so we have a motion and a second, and that means that we need to vote to approve that. So all in favor of the aforementioned motion that's on the floor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? There being none, motion passes, and we'll get all the paperwork filled out. And Mr. Tom Perry, you will get communication from Mrs. Winther and from the Code Enforcement Board here on that. You heard what we were saying. We're going to uphold the $100 fine for you, but you get the permit done and Mrs. Winther re-inspects, then we waive any of the other costs associated with that. All righty?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I don't think there's any old business, is there? No. Okay, motion to adjourn. Need a second on that. Second. Motion.
Aye.
Adjourn. Aye. Nobody's opposed. Works for me.
Next to beach.
Thank you. All right, I got to fill out some of this stuff here.